The integumentary system includes the skin and its accessory structures, include hair, nails, and glands, and as well as the blood vessels, muscles, and the nerves. Okay? The, the integumentary system includes the skin and its accessory structures, which are the hair, nails, glands, and blood vessels, muscles, and the nerves. The skin, which is also called the cutaneous membrane, covers the body and is the largest organ of the body by the surface area and its weight. Okay? The skin is also called the cutaneous membrane, covers the body and it is considered as the largest organ of the body by surface and weight. Right? So the area of the skin is about 2 square meter, right? And it weighs 4.5 to 5 kg, about 16 percentage of the body weight, right? And it is 0.5 to 4 thick. Okay, not all the skin of the body are with the same thickness. There are some regions in the body where the skin is thinnest. Okay, like on the eyelids, the skin is thinnest and it is thickest on the heels. And the average thickness is 1 to 2 Right? Can you hear me now? Some people are texting that they can't hear. Can hear me now? Maureen and Safari, Salumi Safari. Okay. Felix, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. The others, please mute your microphones. Fabio, Omolo. Okay. So the skin is made of, or it consists of two major layers. There is an outer thinner layer called epidermis, which consists of, or it is made of the epithelial tissue. And the inner layer is the thicker layer, which is made of, or which is called dermis. Okay, the upper layer is epidermis and the inner layer is dermis. Beneath the dermis is a subcutaneous layer which is called hypodermis, which attaches the skin to the underlying tissue. Right? We saw that the skin is made of two major layers. Outer layer is the epidermis and the inner layer is dermis. And beneath the dermis, there is another subcutaneous layer which is called hypodermis. This hypodermis attaches the skin to the underlying tissue and organ. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the structure of the entire skin. Right? The top layer is the epidermis, which is a thin layer, and the bottom is dermis, which is the thick layer, and the yellow part, what you're seeing is the subcutaneous layer. Okay? The epidermis thin layer, the thick dermis, and the subcutaneous or the underlying layer. The epidermis is made of four major types of cells. Okay, there are four different types of cells in the epidermis, that is in the superficial layer of the skin. The first type of cell is called keratinocytes. The keratinocytes form about 90% of the cells that produce keratin, which is a tough fibrous protein that provides protection. right? So the first type of cell that forms the epidermis is keratinocytes. Almost 90% of the cells in the epidermis are keratinocytes. These cells they produce a protein called keratin, which is a tough fibrous protein that provides protection. The next type of cells are melanocytes, Langerhans cells, and Merkel cells. Right? Um, melanocytes, Langerhans cells, and Merkel cells are the other type of cells in the epidermis. Melanocytes produce the pigment melanin that protects against damage by the UV rays. Okay? So the melanocytes protects the skin from uh, the damage caused by UV rays. Okay, and the melanocytes are the cells that produce um, a substance or pigment called melanin. Okay? And Langerhans cells involves in the immune response. It protects the skin from any infection. And the Merkel cells, which functions in the sensation of touch. Okay, they provide the sensation of touch. Melanocytes produces melanin to protect the skin from UV radiations. Langerhans cells provide protection against infections involved in immune responses, and Merkel cells they provide the sensation of touch. Okay? So the four types of cells in the epidermis are um, keratinocytes, melanocytes, Langerhans cells, and Merkel cells. Here you can see the picture, the shape of all the four types of cells in the epidermis. The epidermis contains four major layers in the thick skin and contains five major layers in the thin skin. So we saw there are two parts, two different types of skins, right? Like the skin in the heel and the palm, they are thick skin. Okay, so the thick skin, the epidermis has five major layers. Okay, and the skin on the eyelid, okay, eyelid is the thin skin. Okay, where you find the epidermis having four major layers. Okay, so we're going to see about the different layers of um, uh, epidermis. So from the deepest layer, the deepest layer is called stratum basale. Okay, above stratum basale is stratum spinosum, then stratum granulosum. Okay, the deepest layer is stratum basale. The above basale is spinosum, and then above spinosum is stratum granulosum. Stratum means layer. Okay, um, and the fourth layer is stratum lucidum, which is not found in all the skin, but found in only the thick skin. Okay, the fourth layer is stratum lucidum, which is found only in the thick skin. Okay, that is found in the fingertips, palms, and soles. And then the superficial layer or the topmost layer is called the stratum corneum. The superficial layer is called stratum corneum, which is composed of many sublayers of flat cells, and these cells are dead cells, and they are called corneocytes that are continuously
Invited.
replaced by cells around
Mm.
the
Unatakiwa
decomposed.
post kwa kuingiza mfano. Kambod.
The superficial layer
Mm.
is called stratum corneum,
Unaambia
and
mimi
it is
band.
made of
Unajua
flat
huduma
and
zenye
dead cells
zinaenda.
called
Wakaambia watu
corneocytes.
wanataka nikasirike nipoteze miaka
Meaning
yangu na sipotezi. Hata wakinipea
when you
kupalilia maua nitashika
Utafanya.
jembe. Yes.
Sasa hiyo
enter
unanyamaza.
Wakanifanya kila kitu. Uzuri wananipindua, wananitoss wakati watoto wamaliza.
okay, so these cells, the dead cells on the superficial layer, They are replaced, they are shed and replaced by the cells that are moving from the deepermost layer. Okay? So here in this slide, you are seeing the 5 layers of epidermis. Okay, stratum basale, the deepermost layer. Above it is the stratum spinosum. Okay, there are 10 to 8 layers of spiny cells with spines. And above that is stratum granulosum. Okay, they have these cells. They contain granules, right? And above granulosum is stratum lucidum. It's a glassy layer found only in the thick skin. And the superficial layer is the stratum corneum, which contains dead keratinocytes or dead cells. Okay, so the 5 layers of epidermis you see here. The stratum basale. The stratum basale has specialized cells called stem cells. Okay, and these stem cells are the cells that are able to continuously divide, and these divided cells they move to the superficial layer to replace the um, dead cells that are shed, okay, from the superficial layer. Okay, the stratum basale is the deepest layer. Stratum spinosum is above basale. Stratum granulosum is above spinosum. Stratum lucidum is found above granulosum, only in thick skin. And then finally, the stratum corneum, the superficial layer. Okay, the next layer of the skin is dermis. Okay, the dermis is composed of connective tissue. We saw that the epidermis is made of epithelial tissue and the dermis is made of connective tissue. The connective tissue or the dermis is it contains 2 layers, the outer papillary layer and the deeper reticular layer. Okay, dermis is composed of connective tissues and it is divided into 2 layers, papillary and reticular layer. Okay, and all the accessory structures are found in the dermis. Okay, like the glands, hair follicles, blood vessels, nerves. Okay, all the accessory structures of the skin they are found in the dermis, right? So the next we are going to see about the accessory structures. We saw the accessory structures include the hair, skin glands, and nails. The first one is hair. Hair has a number of important functions. The first function is to protect. It provides protection. Okay, like for example, the hair in the eyelids. Okay, it protects the eyeball from the falling of dust, right? And the reduction of heat loss. The hair in the head, in the scalp, it protects or it reduces the body heat loss. And sensing light touch, and the small hair all over the body. Okay, it helps in sensing the light touch. Anything that touches you light also you're able to feel, and that is because of the light, sensing light touch. Okay, the hair has 3 important functions: protection, uh, loss of heat, a reduction of loss of heat, and sensing light touch. And the hair is composed of dead keratinized epidermal cells. Hair is made of dead keratinized epidermal cells, and it consists of 3 parts. There's a shaft, root, and hair follicle. Shaft is the part of the hair that projects above the skin. Okay, that is called shaft. And the part of the hair that is under the skin, that penetrates into the dermis, is called the root. Okay, and at the bottom of the root there is a bulged part which is called the hair follicle. Okay, the hair is made of dead keratinized epidermal cells and consists of shaft, root, and hair follicle. In this picture you can see the different parts. As you can see here, the hair follicle is it emerges from the dermis. Okay, and this is the part that is shaft of the hair that is above the skin, right? And this part is the root, the skin. I mean root of the hair. The hair color is determined by the amount and type of melanin, right? There are the melanin can be the color can range from dark brown to brown to black, right? And the hair color is also determined based on the amount and the type of melanin that is secreted by the melanocytes. Okay, that's why we have different shades in the hair color. And as you grow old, what happens? The melanocyte reduces in the secretion of melanin, so there is the graying of the hair, right? When there is no melanin, or when the melanin secretion is reduced, then it affects the hair color. Then the next is the sebaceous gland, which is also called oil gland. They are connected to the hair follicle. The sebaceous gland is connected to the hair follicle. As you can see here, this is sebaceous gland. Okay, it is connected to the hair follicle, and it secretes a oily substance called sebum. This sebum coats the hair follicle, okay, and prevents dehydration of the hair and the skin. And the other type of skin are the sudoriferous glands, or sweat glands. Sudoriferous glands are also called as sweat glands. The two types of sweat glands are eccrine and apocrine sweat gland. Okay, eccrine and apocrine are the two types of sweat glands. Sweat glands are also called as sudoriferous glands. There is a question, why is it that hair grows since it is made of dead cells? Okay, so we saw about the stratum corneum, epidermis, right? Epidermal layer. Okay, the cells on the superficial layer of the skin, it also has dead cells. Okay, and these dead cells are replaced, isn't it? How are they replaced? The cells from stratum basale, they continuously divide and push the newly formed cells to the upper layer uh, to replace the shedded cells. Okay, in the same way, what happens? The the follicles, the hair follicle has stem cells. Okay, and these stem cells, they continuously divide. Okay, and as they divide, what happens? They help in the growth of the hair. So when the cells reach the top surface, okay, or to the top of the tip of the hair, what happens? They become dead. Okay, so these cells are called dead because they stop dividing and they stop producing a protein called keratin. Okay, I hope you understood. Okay, the dead cells, they don't grow, but the cells at the bottom of the hair follicle, or bottom of the hair, which is called the hair follicle, it contains stem cells, and these stem cells, they continuously divide, helping in the growth of the hair, right? Coming back to the sudoriferous sweat glands, the two types of sudoriferous glands are eccrine or merocrine sweat gland and the apocrine sweat gland. There are numerous eccrine sweat glands, okay, that helps to cool the body by evaporating and eliminating the the eccrine sweat gland. When it excretes its sweat, it helps to cool the body by evaporating and eliminating small amounts of waste. The apocrine sweat gland, located mainly in the skin of the axilla, groin, and the beard, facial regions of adult males, they excrete the sweat during the emotional stress. Okay, so apocrine sweat gland is different, and it doesn't involve in cooling the body. And the eccrine or the merocrine sweat gland, it helps in when it sweats or when it secretes its sweat, it helps in cooling the body and eliminates the waste. Uh, Eliana, can you please mute your microphone? Okay, and the next type, type of skin gland includes um, the ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands are modified sweat gland, okay, which is located in the ear canal. Okay, and this ceruminous gland secretes along with the nearby sebaceous glands. They are involved in producing a waxy secretion called cerumen, okay, or the earwax, which provides a sticky barrier that prevents entry of foreign bodies into the ear canal. Okay, ceruminous glands secrete cerumen or the earwax, which prevents the entry of foreign bodies by acting as a sticky barrier. Okay, so those are about the three different types of skin glands. We saw about the sebaceous gland, sweat
Iya
glands,
iya iya.
odoriferous glands, and the
Mbak, ini kelas.
ceruminous glands.
Ini kelas. Malah kayaknya punya kayak kita mau pakai tahu kayak. Main data aku mikir.
Kennedy Odiambo, can you mute your microphone? Okay. The next accessory structure of the skin are the nails. Okay, nails are also composed of dead keratinized epidermal cells located over the dorsal um, surface of the ends of the fingers and toes. Okay, so the nail consists of three parts: the free edge, nail body, and nail root. Okay, nail root is the part of the nail that is under the skin, okay, under the folds of the skin, and the free edge is the part of the nail that you keep trimming, right? And the transparent nail body is the whitish part, sorry, the broad part of the nail, okay, with a whitish lunula at the base. The parts of um, the nails: free edge, nail body, and the nail root. Lunula is the white part that is at the base of the nail body. Okay, so the nail also keeps growing as we trim, isn't it? That is because of the stem cells, the same thing. The stem cells, they keep dividing and pushes the cells to the upper layer. And as they come to the superficial part, the cells become dead because they stop dividing, they stop producing the proteins. Okay, that's why they are called dead cells. Okay. The next is the types of the skin. We already saw there is two major types of skin: the thin, hairy skin and the thick, hairless skin. Okay, the thin, hairy skin covers all body regions except the palms and the digits and soles. Okay, the thick, hairless skin. Okay, uh, yeah, the thick skin that you find in the palm and sole and the digits, they are hairless and they are thick. The two type of um, skin. The next is about the functions of the skin. The regulation of body temperature. that's the first function of the skin, to regulate the body temperature. The next function is to act as blood reservoir. Okay, and the skin also helps in protection. And the next function is cutaneous sensation. The different sensations. Emily, can you please mute your microphone? Busy in talking. Kerubo, you mute your microphone. Kerubo. Okay, so the functions of the skin includes regulation of body temperature, blood reservoir. It acts as a blood reservoir. Um, then the skin helps in providing protection to the underlying tissue. And the cutaneous sensation, like the touch, pain detection, touch detection, okay, sensation of heat difference, okay, heat or cold sensations are detected by the skin. Then it is also involved in excretion of waste material and absorption of materials, and it helps in the synthesis of vitamin D. Okay? So those are the important functions of the skin. Okay? Regulates body temperature. When the body temperature is high, what happens? We sweat, isn't it? We sweat in order to cool the body. Okay? And that's the skin involves in regulation of body temperature. Blood reservoir, the blood vessels in the skin, they store, they act as reservoirs to save blood. Okay, and then cutaneous sensation, I already told you. Protection, the skin, the okay, the skin, we know it is made of both epidermis, epithelial tissues, and the dermal, connective tissue. Okay, these two tissues together, they protect the underlying tissue. Okay, and the synthesis of vitamin D, D3. Yeah? The skin absorbs vitamin D, right, and it synthesizes it. And vitamin D is important for the absorption of calcium. And calcium, we know it is also very important. It plays many important role in the body. You will learn about it later. That is all about the integumentary system.